gonna have a great time doing it. So we're gonna wait for our gauge. I got it where I wanted at 35 psi. Now this may be a little high.
Good morning and welcome to another episode of Defiant Jeep. Today we got another special treat. We're back with my friend Sarah and her 2010?
12.
2012 Jeep JK.
Nope, you're right, 2010.
Oh, 2010. There you go. We're not even going to edit this part out. 2010 JK. All right, so we're going to do a little special project. Because we have some worn out bushings, we're going to go ahead and replace her control arms and her shocks as long as we're down there. We'll just put in the new shocks. Let's take a look at what we got. Alrighty, so today we're actually looking at the ever popular brand MetalCloak. We'll be doing all 8 control arms today and all 4 shocks. Now we have another treat for the future, which we'll be doing skid plates, but that's going to be on another episode. Alright, so at this point we're going to get prepared. We're going to start with the front. We're going to do them one at a time because the vehicle's on the ground. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove control arm by control arm. And as we do each individually, we're going to measure length compared to the original ones so that we maintain the factory ride for its articulation, the caster, the camber, all that fun stuff. And we're going to make sure that it doesn't get ruined. So we're going to go about it in this method. And since we are working in my garage, we are limited to tools. For the most part, hand tools, jacks and stands, that kind of thing. If I had a shop, we'd be doing a whole lot better job, a lot faster. But we're going to make this work. Stay tuned. Alrighty, so here we have Sarah on the side of her Jeep. She is going to go ahead and remove the center cap from her wheel. We do need to take the wheels off to change the shocks, and while they're off, we're going to do the control arms. In fact, we're going to do the control arms first, and with the wheel and tire off, it's going to give us more space to work. Of course, we're going to practice safety. We're going to protect our hands. We're going to protect our eyes, and of course, we're going to protect the Jeep. So we're going to go ahead and set it up with the jack. We're going to lift it, take the wheel off, and then settle it with a jack stand so it's stable. Alright, at this point I got Sarah.
I've never used one before, so that didn't do anything. I'm scared.
Don't be scared.
I'm scared. See, nothing.
Where's your tool? It's right there.
Oh.
Oops.
You're not recording, right?
No, of course not.
You're lying, are you?
Yes, I am.
Mother. See, I'm scared.
You got this.
It doesn't come off.
It's tight.
It came off.
Sure did.
Woohoo. There's one. I'm scared.
Don't be scared.
I'm scared. Don't be scared.
Any more? We're good. Alrighty, with the wheel off, we have a lot of access area right here. Now, if you take a look at this section, we got 3 things in front of us. And what I mean by 3 is this. 1, we have the shock. We have accessible to the top nut, and we have access to the nut and bolt at the bottom. Additionally, we have this lower control arm. Lower control arm is a single bolt on each end. So we got 1 bolt in the front, 1 bolt right here in the back, and then we have the upper one, which is somewhere over here. I'm going to find it. Oh. Let me see. Where is you? Right there. Nope. Yeah, this is it right here. This is the upper. You got a single bolt on that side. You got the bracket, and the other end is going to go to the differential. So we're going to go ahead and replace those. And as I said, we're going to do one by one. We're going to go ahead and measure the length, eyelet to eyelet, of the control arm. And then we're going to make the same measurement on the replacement MetalCloak so that they're exactly the same length. Again, so we don't lose any cast or camber. We try and keep it as straight as possible. And make sure we maintain the ride. Alrighty. This is going to be fun. Let's go ahead and get started. Let me collect some tools. And I'll start taking it apart. So at this point right here, we're ready to go. We went ahead and measured our hardware. So we got 21 millimeter in the back, 18 millimeter up front. So before we do the shocks, I'm going to do the shocks last because they're like stupid easy. Let's get these control arms out of the way. So I'm going to start with a lower. And let me see. Got my 21. Oh, I might need a swivel on that. Let's just put a swivel on there. Let's get my 21 millimeter in there. Got my wrench. I know it looks like a little limp noodle.
Yeah, you can say that.
Yeah. Remember, keep it rated G now.
That's what it is.
Okay, so I'm gonna find. Okay, so I found the nuts. This is gonna be hard because. Okay, we're gonna push out. See if I can do this one-handed. I'm usually not pretty good at one-handed, so.
I might have to put the camera down.
Because?
To help.
We're gonna have to go get a tripod.
That's why you're four-handed.
There you go. It is pushing out, right? Sure is. I think I hit my button. Well, dang it, there.
Hate it.
There we go. Now, we'll give it a little persuasion. And worst case scenario, we'll just have to bring it out with a hammer. Or, excuse me, a mallet. You don't want to use a hammer. Now, a lot of people ask, what's the difference between a hammer and a mallet? They look the same. Yes, they look the same, but they're really not. The difference between a hammer and a mallet is that a hammer has an all steel head or a metal head. A mallet's got a rubber head. So you really have to judge or gauge the situation to see how gentle you want to be. Okay, there. That one will go there. Let's see if I got space to do this from the top. And you know, it would probably be easier if I had the impact gun on the inside, but I'm not left-handed, so this is how it works for me. If I can get that guy back in there. Awesome! But I'm not being so awesome right now. Woo!
It ran out.
That guy's on there, man. Too many crickets. Okay, I can get that to stay there. It is in the out position. It's not even budging. Jiminy crickets. Sometimes I get scared of this because you hear so many things about something falling, and you got on this corner alone maybe about 1,000 pounds because the whole Jeep weighs about 4,000.
And a couple angles coming at your face too.
Yeah, right. So.
It's all good. I'm a nurse, remember?
Yes, yes, you are.
I can call 911.
There you go.
Is there anything I can do to help ease it?
Unfortunately,
Would moving the control arm up and down from that one end make it to brake a little easier?
No, well, it's not the position of the control arm, because right now, if you can see how it is, it's only going to go up and down.
Right, I was saying, I wonder if like you do that, if maybe it'll loosen it?
No, because if you see how it flexes, I'm pushing down and it's pushing back up.
Oh, yeah.
This is just the rubber bushing.
Okay.
That's what's creating resistance. So that's not going to do anything for this nut. beyond my better judgment, I am going to try and do this left-handed, even though I'm no good at it. See if I can persuade it from the back end, but I don't know how far I'm going to get.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, this is not going to work for me. Nope. And I lost my tool. Alrighty, with a little extra persuasion and of course help from Sarah, we went in and got this control arm out. So now you can see the control arm is actually held on by one bolt on each side, and you do have the factory OEM bushings. The only nice thing about these bushings is that they're easily replaced, meaning they're accessible anywhere, any parts house or dealership, wherever you choose to buy them. These bushings are so common you can get them anywhere. Now, let me get up. I'm going to show you a comparison of the factory arms versus the new MetalCloak that we're going to install. All right. So, we're going from this to this BVMNFer.
Well, it looks like the same size from here.
Well, yeah, well, we're going to measure because we want to be, we're going to do like the carpenters. We're going to measure twice that cut, right?
Yeah, not like Newport wrinkles.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. It's got much more sophisticated bushings. These are, what does MetalCloak call them? These are their patented DuraFlex, I believe. Mm-hmm. And these are rebuildable. You can see that I'm going to put that down for a second. These do have a C-clip right here. That's letting me know that these are rebuildable, which is fantastic. They're on each end.
Shiny.
Mucho shiny.
Glorious.
They're like pretty.
Very.
I'm gonna be jealous of your Jeep by the time we're done. Alrighty, I'll put that down for a second. So, dun 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 dun. All right, so we're gonna use this box here as a table. We're gonna grab this one right here. Same angle. Now, I'm going to pretend to be a smart guy. I'm not claiming to be a smart guy. Oh, thank you. And we're going to use this measuring tape. So now what we're going to do is we're going to measure eyelet to eyelet. And it's from the center of the hole to the center of the hole. And you're reading about 22 and a half. Okay, so let's go to the center of this hole. To the center of this hole. Oh my God, it's dead ass nuts right there. It's right on 22 and a half.
Perfect.
So we're going to hand tighten it right now so the joint itself doesn't move from its position. And so long as we already know the other measurement, or this actual measurement, we're going to do the same to the control arm for the other side. As long as we get 22 and a half out of that one, we are golden. So let's grab this measuring tape. And this will save us a little bit later on in this video when we have to measure it. Need to twist, let's bring it out. That was a lot of twist. Because now I'm at 22, it was more than that. Bring it in. Center of that hole. There you go. Now we're nuts. All right. Hand tighten on that. So now, as far as the lowers for the front, you can tell that they're identically the same aside of the way you position it because of the angle of this right here. And because I'm a genius, we're going to make fun of that one. Let's go take a look at your other front one. I want to make sure I put it in right. Okay, so the way it's coming from this bracket here is going forward and then a little out. So that's how we know that that's how we're going to install the other one. So we're going to take it, and as we look at it from the back to the front of the Jeep, bushing mounted, it's going to go forward, then a little out, and install on the other bracket. And that's all it is. We're just going to go ahead and swap it out, put it on.
All right. Got them in.
All right. Now, it looks pretty. Everything's in. What we're going to do right now on this big jam nut, we need to make it tight. Now, on our normal scale, you wouldn't do this. When you put in new control arms, You normally just have it on its own weight, give it a few rolls, maybe go around your complex or on the block just once or twice. You want to let the bushing settle. But because these are MetalFlex's Duroflex, you don't got to worry about that. We can go ahead and just settle this jam nut right now, give it a good torque so that this joint doesn't loosen up, and she'll be perfectly safe and all the angles will be perfect. Let me go ahead and get that 15-inch crescent wrench. All right. So now, and we're ready to go. Let's give this one a nice measure, make it snug. Is that gonna work for me? Yeah, kind of, sort of, I think. If I can remain stable myself, that would be prime, right? Loosen it, give it a different angle. Now, of course, you don't want to manhandle this and make it so dang tight it seizes on there for future services, you know. That should be good. Now, it would probably be ideal to put some blue 242 Permatex or Loctite. It is not the strongest stuff out there, but it's not the weakest either. It's enough to keep this on so it doesn't back off. Remember, anything that you drive on the road, everything vibrates. Everybody's got a Jeep, we know everything vibrates. I mean, my wife hates driving mine, it vibrates so much and it rattles. But those vibrations will work out nuts or studs to make everything loose and just back them off. That's why we got to constantly retighten these. So if you happen to have some Permatex or Loctite 242 blue, that would be ideal for there. But just like any other installation, especially with suspension lifts, check it in the next 500 to 1,000 miles. Make sure everything stays tight. If it's tight, you're good to go. Leave it alone. All right, so now we're ready for the upper. Where is it? This fella right here. So we're going to do the same thing. Where's the end of it? Oh, that's probably it right there. I'm looking at it from in here. Well, Shazam. Oh boy. Was that our 18, by the way?
We did get an 18, yeah. I know the front was.
Yeah, let me... Ooh. What happened to the extension I had on there? Let's see if I can touch that with this. Yep, still an 18. Okay, so what we're going to wind up doing, because this nut is an access port in the chassis, we're going to use the impact gun on this side. We're going to hold it back in with a wrench. Alrighty?
Alright.
Alright. Alrighty, with a little extra persuasion and help from Sarah, of course, we got the upper control arm out, and I want you to see a big difference here. The factory bracket is almost a shell or a casing, versus you have a tuning fork like on the MetalCloak, and you can see the difference in the thickness, and of course, it is fully adjustable and a much better bushing on the end. So these control arms are really going to make a big difference to your ride. So we're going to do the same thing we did with the lowers. We're going to go ahead and measure the distance from eyelet to eyelet, and lock it in. And this is going to be a whole lot easier since this bar is straight. There are no bends, there are no angles. So we're going to do better than, well, maybe better than our measuring tape. We're going to do the weird science guy thing.
Yeah, the bolt method.
Yeah, the bolt method. That's right. All right, so I'm going to put this bolt in here. Comes out the other end, and we're going to mate it there. Oh, wrong one, because I'm a dork. Like I said, I'm a dork. Alrighty.
It was close.
Yeah, right?
Literally, proximity.
Now, bolts are not lining up. So let's just unwind this fella. Almost there. Almost there. How am I doing so far?
Looks good on this angle.
Yep.
I don't know about the through and through angle.
Not the through and through. Yeah, even the through and through is still not meeting. Ooh, I passed it by a little bit. Let's get this lined up again. Oops. Maybe my glasses get in the way.
There it is.
That looks dead nuts right there.
Yeah.
All right, so let's lock down this jam nut. What I want to do, so long enough. Yep, that's dead nuts, man. All right, so what do we do with that crescent wrench? Do we leave it out there?
Probably.
Probably is right.
I see it.
We're gonna take our handy dandy crescent wrench. And we're just gonna give that a little squeeze. Now, this is a good squeeze for right now. We're gonna keep this from moving, loosening, tightening, whatever. It doesn't get out of its position. We're gonna put this back in place. From this point, we're about done. We just need to put this guy back in. We're gonna try and be smart about the whole thing. And we're gonna try and put in the actual Duraflex joint first, because that's the one that needed the most persuasion. And it's a good thing that this has got a lot of flex versus this solid tuning fork type shape. So we're gonna work it in there. And the biggest problem we have is that the exhaust is in the way. Now, most of you guys that have shops, you know what I'm talking about. It's so much easier to lift the vehicle and let the suspension hang. But in this case, we got to work with what we got. So we're going to make it work. So
Hint, he would like donations for a shop.
Yeah, I may have to Facebook that GoFundMe. Steve needs a place to work.
Yep.
We're going to call it the Defiant Jeep Workshop or something like that. Who knows? But it's good aspiration for the future.
Defiant Motors.
There you go. Unless somebody's already got that name. That's the... Ooh. Defiant Jeep Customs.
There you go.
There you go. Well, we'll get there. I dropped that bolt, didn't I? I can't see it. And go. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and get this guy in here. This is going to be fun. It's not that one because I'm a dork again. Now, let's get, we need to mate him up here. We need to get that bolt in there, and I'm at such a bad angle right now. Let's see if we can persuade the exhaust to be nice with us. That's going to be the tricky part, yeah? Okay. So it's the downpipe to the catalytic converter. All right, so. Can you get that bolt?
Oh, I was holding it into place.
Oh, yeah, no, I can't see the bolt hole, so I'll just hold it and you guide it.
Down. Oh, I'll have to put the camera down.
Alrighty, so now that we got the control arms in, we're going to show you a beautiful shot of this in just a second. Control arms are in, you got the top and the bottom. Look at them beauties. My goodness. I'll tell you what, all you fellas out there that are rolling around MetalCloak, you know exactly what you're doing, man, because these things are not only functional, they look gorgeous. And they really complement the appearance of Rooster over here, this 2010 JK. So now that we got that done, we are now going to move on and we are going to change these front shocks. Yes, she's using the Fox 2.0s, but we're going to swap them over to the MetalCloak Monotube shock for an even better ride. I gave you a shot of that earlier, but we're going to give you another shot as soon as they're installed. So this is like super easy. Get an 18mm socket here at the bottom. We're going to use an 18mm wrench to hold the bolt, and we have a 18mm nylock nut that we're going to undo.
19.
Yes, I'm sorry, 19. You're correct. 19mm nylock nut on the top. So we're going to go ahead and knock that out as fast as we can, so we can officially say we're finished with this side. And, oops, that gave me silly, man. I'm going the wrong way. What's that? That's my 18. Yeah, that's my 18. Let's go ahead and let me right there. And there it went. Did that hit me in the face?
It almost did.
Okay, because I didn't feel it, so I'm okay. Okay, so now this is gonna be the fun part. We got our nut. We're gonna put it to a side. Let's just make, I mean, not the best spot to put it, but we're gonna put it somewhere so we don't lose it. We're gonna leave this nut the way it is. Oh, I'm sorry, this bolt in here for right now. I'm gonna take my, is this my 19mm? No. Here it is. That's my 19mm. Let's double check to make sure that's the one that fits. Yes, I got a nice snug fit on there. Let's just double check the 18 just to be 100%. Yeah, I know what I'm doing. Yes, it is the 19mm. So, woo, man, I'm like butterfingers today. My goodness. And because this is a nylock, you know what? Let's see if I can fit my box in there. There we go. So we're gonna ratchet this guy, loosen him up as fast as we can. And there she is. Our nut is out. We're gonna put this here, but this nylock nut we're not gonna reuse because I'm pretty sure that the MetalCloak came with new hardware. Alrighty, so now you have a washer. You have another bushing in here. Ooh, this was crushed pretty good too. Do we have, I'm gonna try and use a screwdriver to pry it off. And now, mind you, I'm feeling for the whole thing. I can't see it. There it is. So I had a good crush on there. It's not gonna come out right now, and that's okay. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna grab this fella. Oh my goodness, that's a good shock. Let me give myself at least, I hope, a little bit more leverage. See if I can pull this down. Oh my goodness, that's on there good. That is awesome. Kind of hoping it's not that that's seizing it, but that is a really good shock. All right, so tell you what, option number 2. I'm gonna show you how we did it back in Florida. I am.
Beat it.
Yeah, right.
Beat it.
So I used the mallet to push out the bolt some from over here. I got the head right there. Let me see if I can grab it with my pry bar. If I can pull it out, that'd be awesome. No, I don't have enough bolt there.
Do you have a smaller wrench? You can just push it through?
Yeah. Let me see if I got the...
Did you bring that one back?
I got the screwdriver.
There it goes.
Now here's the thing. I was doing it all wrong because this body looks upside down. The shaft is here. That's why I couldn't pull it from here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the screwdriver or the pry bar, doesn't matter which one. And I'm going to relieve some tension here at the bottom from this bolt. And it's out. Okay, so at this point, I should be able to pull it out. Why does it want to fight me? It always wants to fight me.
Yeah. My cheap likes to complain.
Yeah, I know. So, and this is okay. This is not a big deal. We don't deal with too many upside down shocks, but it's all right. But it just gets me that this one just doesn't want to play nice. Ow!
Don't do that.
That's all right. I got 9 more. We're okay.
There it
is.
goes.
And we're out.
Yay.
Alrighty, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and grab the MetalCloak Monotube. Alrighty, so we just removed this fox. We're gonna replace it with this MetalCloak Monotube. Now there's actually a beautiful design. Now it does not appear to be the upside down style like this one here. Let me put that down for a second. It's got a built-in sock, like a polymer sock, plastic, and it's just covered for the stud. So this is how we're gonna play this. To install this and make life easy, we're going to leave it the way it is with the strap. Now this strap is only used for shipping purposes, but it's going to help us out. We're going to put the bolt on. We're going to cut the strap, and then this piston is going to rise slowly. We're going to guide it into the hole. This way we don't have to fight it trying to set it in position. Once it's in the hole, we'll put on the other bushing, the washer, and put a nut on top, and we're done. Let's go ahead and get that knocked out. Alrighty, so we are all set at this point. What we're going to do, as far as the bolt and nut for the bottom, we're going to use the original hardware since it was not supplied by MetalCloak. No surprise and nothing new. Most manufacturers will suggest to use the original hardware, which is fine. So we're going to leave the strap tied. What I'm going to need is... I'm a genius. Where did I put that down? Here it is. Okay, so we're going to set our shock in place. If I can get it in there. Come on, big guy. There you go. Now, mind you, I'm not back there looking at the hole. I'm just gauging at how am I going to make this fit. Trying to fit my finger in there. And we're in. Alrighty. We're going to take our factory nut. And now we got the nut in place. So yes, it's loose, but we're not ready to tighten it yet. So from here on out, I guess I don't need to...
Push it down pretty good.
Yeah, right? Okay, I'm gonna need that. I'm gonna need these. Yeah. I'm gonna put them to a side. Ooh, woo. And through the hole, get my ring out of the way. Oh, those things are purty.
It is pretty.
Bird dang purty.
I like.
Okay, so now, where is it? This one right here. This is a two-piece washer design. This one we're gonna set on top of the mounting area here. This, I don't know what you want to call the shimmed area. We're gonna put it right through the hole where it meets for the other shock bushing.
Yeah.
We're gonna sandwich this bushing between these other ones, and then we're gonna put the nut on top. So let's get that started. Now what I'm doing is I'm feeling for it, making sure it's in the hole.
Make sure it's seating well.
Yeah, that's it. There it is. I got you. Now this is also going to help prevent any rattle. Now, what I did not make a mention of, is these shims or washers, they are curved. They're convex or concaved. Just make sure that the curves are in towards the bushing on all of them. You want it to look like it's cradling the
So
bushing.
like a hamburger.
Kind of like, yeah, like a hamburger. You want it to cradle the bushing. You don't want it this way and then the bushing's over here. And
And it'll probably bend the bushing, right?
well, it's a rubber or a polyurethane, and you want to tighten it enough to it bulges a little bit.
Okay.
But still, you don't want it to. It's not going to fly off anywhere. Everything's sustained by the stud in the middle.
Okay.
At the same time, you don't want it to look awkward.
Sure.
Yeah. So, what I did not measure was the size of this one here. And if it's an 18 or 19, I already have those wrenches available. Well, here we go. It
I
is
love it when it fits.
still a 19. All right. I'm just going down as much as I can by hand. Okay. There we go. You ready? Alrighty. We had to go get a crescent wrench to keep this tube from spinning. So now I think we're good. Maybe a bit thick, but we're still gonna make it work. So we're gonna continue to tighten it up. Now, remember, as I said, you just wanna tighten it enough to where these bushings are bulging. You don't need to manhandle it. You don't have space for an air wrench anyways. So we're gonna make this work.
An air wrench is a thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's so many different pneumatic tools or whatnot. They call them different things. It's kind of like the impact wrench is also a pneumatic wrench.
Yeah.
You know, you have your air ratchets.
I've never seen an air ratchet or pneumatic.
You never seen them?
No, I've only seen manual.
What?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they have.
Remember Newport Richie?
Yeah, right. Okay, I got you, my Florida people. You know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah.
We're close enough to Moon Lake.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I kind of miss Moon Lake.
No.
Well, the Grand Wizard lived in Moon Lake.
Just go down to Valley Hospital. You find plenty of Moon Lakers over there.
Hey man, if it only cost you 2 teeth to move in, that's where I want to live.
I don't even know if they got that.
Okay. Whew. I gotta get this guy out of here.
Look at this side. It's looking all beautiful.
Yeah, right. Alrighty, so now as you can see that we have the lower control arm installed, the upper control arm installed, and the front shock is installed. We have relatively a new suspension minus the springs, but everything is up to speed on this vehicle so far. So from here, all we're going to do is exactly the same thing we did on this side to the next side. And once that's done, we're going to move on to the back. Alrighty, boys and girls. Is this not a beauty or what? Look at that. Beautiful MetalCloak control arms. Alright. Let me see if I get the other side. Is that not beautiful or what? My God. Alrighty. Okay, so we got the control arms installed. We got the front shocks installed. we're not done with our project. We're not going to proceed to the rear. Pretty much the same thing, only in the back. You know, we're going to go ahead and install the rear control arms, we're going to install the rear shocks, put the tires back on, and that's it. Just hang in there. We're almost finished. Hey, Defiant Jeepers. Oh my goodness, I feel like super silly. We got so excited when we finished doing the front, the control arms and the shocks, and then we went ahead and moved forward and finished off the rears. That we totally forgot to record, and it's like, my bad. I didn't even get a final image of the vehicle, or I'm sorry, the Jeep, the 2010 JK with the control arms and the shocks and the way it stands. It's like super gorgeous. But yeah, it's pretty much all done. The only thing it needs is a skid plate system, and as I mentioned earlier, it's gonna be on another video. But yeah, I think it came out great. It's a fantastic. It rides like a bat out of hell. It's freaking awesome as far as the suspension. It's wonderful. I give mad props to all the MetalCloak people for such a wonderful design, and the fantastic bushings. Oh my God, those bushings are incredible, and I love the fact that they're rebuildable. But yeah, for right now, that one is done. My only suggestion would be that when replacing control arms, do them all at the same time. Doing them one by one seemed to be a harder job than what it should have been. I think, in my opinion, it'd be best said to go ahead and remove everything, the control arms and the shocks, suspend or try and maintain the differential or the axle with a jack. Trying to keep it in this position and adjust it as you have to, while maintaining the appropriate length of the control arm so you don't mess with the camber. That being said, yeah, that's the way to do it. If you're going to do control arms and shocks, just do it as if you were going to install a whole lift kit, with springs and everything. Do them all at the same time. Doing them one by one, like I said, the job just took longer than what it had to. So, of course, getting closer to the end of the day, I started getting a little frustrated because we should have been done way before we were. So, lesson learned on that one. But thanks for watching. I really appreciate you hanging out with us for a little bit to see the build or the replacement of parts from OEM to some high quality aftermarket parts. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Coming soon will be www.defiantjeep.com. Don't forget to connect or join us on all our social platforms. And don't forget about Desert Wranglers at www.desertwranglers.club. We love to see you on the trail. Have a great day.